Yes, I can see the groans and I'm not so sure. What does this have to do with food? Well, if you're like me and grew up in Chicago and West Rogers Park in the 70s, seeing these police horses bookend streets meant something really, really special. They were block parties. We had block parties back when we were growing up. Not the highly curated, produced events that you see today from celebrities and superstar musicians, but something simpler, more organic. It was a place where the neighbors could come, gather, laugh, relax, catch up, share stories, to watch the kids racing around. It was a time to connect, a place where everyone belonged. For me, one of the most profound connections I saw was food. Samosas next to hot dogs, latkes next to burgers, kielbasa next to shawarma, galbi, kimchi, barbecue ribs, suckling pigs, slow cooked over 24 hours, buried in a banana leaf lined pit, Filipino style. Little soft, buttery, pillowy rolls filled with bacon my neighbor Sophie Dongo used to make, and I've never been able to recreate, and so many more. There's a veritable United Nations of food. I remember all the flavors, the textures, but most lasting images are those of my neighbors trying to explain to each other who didn't speak the same language, who came from very different places, what these foods were. Invariably, the universal, unmistakable, "Oh my goodness, that's delicious" face we all know said it all. These experiences, along with the immeasurable influence of my grandmother, helped me to see food beyond simple biological sustenance. Every day, she cooked dinner for our family of six on the table at 5 p.m. sharp, no exceptions. Much of what we ate came from the extensive backyard garden she kept. Even at 3+ decade veteran of the hospitality industry, a classically trained chef who's worked all over the world, a founding partner in Simple Food Group, she is still in the upper echelon of greatest cooks I've ever known. But beyond the magical skill and talent she had as a cook, it was what she imbued in the food that I always carry with me. The lessons learned gardening with her, helping in the kitchen. I can still feel her utter frustration watching me wash rice. The discipline, precision, creativity, knowledge all serve me to this day. With parents who often worked 2 and 3 jobs, the food on the dinner table kept us nourished, connected. You could feel the love. No mistake, it was a lot of tough love, but the food conveyed the depth of the connection of our family. Yes, I can see the instant recognition in the faces of those of you who are of a certain age, what this means. I apologize to all the young people in the audience who have no clue what this is, or what the rest of us are smiling about. I'll fill you in. This was what welcome mats used to look like in neighborhoods, usually filled with things like this. It was a universal symbol that said, "Welcome to the neighborhood." When someone new moved in, it said, "You belong," before we even memorized people's names. And a tip for all of you who aren't familiar with this tradition, you must return the Tupperware. More importantly, it should be filled with something that you and your family loved from a food standpoint. According to Pew Research Center, only about a quarter of Americans today know most of their neighbors. This is down almost 20% from just 2018. While another 62% only know some of their neighbors and 12% don't know any of them. When it comes to trust, 44% of adults say that they trust most of the people in their neighborhood, also down roughly 16% from 2018. Another 46% trust the people in their neighborhood, some of the people, while 9% trust none. The trend is not moving in a good direction. Food is a powerful social, cultural, human connector. I've always said that we could take 20 people from all different backgrounds who don't speak the same language, gather them around a table, throw out a bunch of great food, and by the end of the evening, people will be laughing, smiling, and the food will work as the connector. It's a universal language that builds community. Think for a moment how central food is to the connections and special moments of your life. From cherished family recipes to holiday feasts to weddings, to birthdays, funerals, catching up with old friends, making new friends. Food creates bonds. It transmits values and offers comfort, making it central to the human connection and identity. Now, this isn't just touchy feely unicorns and rainbows and anecdotally based opinion. Neuroscience shows that communal eating triggers endorphins, dopamine, and oxytocin, the same trust hormone that is released when we hug people. Simply passing dishes synchronizes body language, lowers heart rate variability, and signals safety. Think about that for a second. That food sharing is a sign of safety. In the evolutionary biological context, sharing the often scarce resources of food with someone makes you vulnerable. It requires trust. Eating together meant literal physical vulnerability in our ancestral past. Hard to have a discussion about food without local popping up. Unfortunately, local has too often become a checkbox, almost meaningless. A tomato can be local and still grown by someone you'll never meet, harvested by workers paid poorly, and shipped through a distributor. The proximity is incidental. At Simple, we look at food as relationship driven and relationship forming, not local. At the heart of those relationships is trust. Farmers are extending trust to you when they grow food. They're vulnerable to weather, pests, economics, and a multitude of other dangers. When you get to know them and you buy directly from them, you're completing that circle of trust. Not only are you building a relationship with the farmer, by extension, you are also becoming connected to the land and the seasons and the rhythms that those farmers cultivate and navigate. The connection to nature and place becomes natural byproduct of the human relationship, not a sales pitch. When farmers are feeding the same food to their own kids, there's no separation between producer and consumer. They have the most personal stake possible in food safety and quality. It's not about regulations or certifications. It's about the ultimate form of accountability. My family is eating this too. Compare that to the industrial system where decision makers are completely removed from consequences. Not villainous, just structurally anonymous. Nobody's kids are eating from the specific batch that they're producing or managing. Large scale recalls happen in systems designed for efficiency and scale, where one contamination point affects millions. Small farms have natural circuit breakers. Problems stay contained because the system is smaller and the farmer directly knows every step. When we buy carrots from Corbin, or sweet corn from Teresa, or bacon from John, or ground beef from Levi, or eggs from Lynn, I know that their kids ate from that same field and fried up those same bacon, burgers, and eggs the day before. That's a different kind of food safety than inspection stickers can provide. It's trust built on the most fundamental shared interest, keeping our families healthy. This is not romanticizing small farming, which is inherently risky and immeasurably hard work. It's identifying a structural difference that matters. And it connects back to the fact that our farmers are our neighbors, a critical part of our thriving community. How many of you have grown zucchini? How many of you have planted more than 2 zucchini plants at once? How many of you have been able to eat all of that zucchini that comes off of those 2 plants? Indeed. Yes. The soft chuckling tells me that you know of what I speak. In Barbara Kingsolver's book, Animal Vegetable Miracle, there's a story of a group of her neighbors under the cover of darkness, or when you pop out to run a quick errand, that leaving bags and baskets of zucchini on each other's doorsteps and mailboxes happens. This act could be classified as a sort of agricultural espionage. It also speaks to the lighthearted nature that food can take when connecting neighbors. I'll leave you with a final story. During the early stages of COVID pandemic, when uncertainty, fear, and anxiety were part of the daily dialogue, the team at Simple put together a resource pantry. Twice a week, our team put together hot meals, pantry packs including bacon, milk, eggs, bread, produce, rice, beans, and more. It also included the rarest of supplies at the time when we were able to find it, toilet paper. This was available to all of our staff, our farmer and small producer partners, and any friends of theirs in need. No charge, no tracking. As we began communicating this plan to our farmers and small producers, each and every one of them donated to the pantry unasked. From Lynn from Yuppie Hill donated hundreds of dozens of eggs. John from Hometown Sausage donated mountains of bacon and sausage. Corbin and Scott from Geneva Lakes Produce donated vegetables. Eric from River Valley Ranch, Nick from Lake Geneva Country Meats, Teresa from the Sweet Corn Lady, Levi and Emily from Alden Hills, John and Haley from Meadowlark Organics, Ron from Hill Valley Dairy, and a host of others all contributed. Again, all of them unprompted. They simply offered. These are not giant corporations that have a surplus of excess capital laying around. These are the people who take the most risk in our food system. But this is what relationship-driven food systems look and feel like. It's not transactional, it's relational. Its impact and success is measured in the vibrancy, strength, and sustainability of its community. It's measured by how well we know and take care of our neighbors. It's all connected through food. And the story is food is always a story about people. Thank you.